In 2025, I burnt myself out. Not in the kind of like, I'm a bit burnt out, a bit tired. I crashed and burnt myself out. Now, obviously, this is a long time coming, and today we're going to talk through this because I know it's something that so many people go through. And if I'm really honest, it's taken me a while to realize that that's what it was. I kind of just thought I've just had a spate of illness and I've just been incredibly ill, but actually, I crashed and burnt this year, and I want to talk through why, how, and how to avoid it. So if it's something you've ever experienced yourself, or feel like you might be in the midst of burnout, or are nervous and don't want to be burnt out, here's some advice. I have been self-employed for 8 going on 9 years, and I've always been a bit of an overworker. Like, I had 4 jobs at uni, which was completely unjustified and not really needed. I just love to be busy. I love to help people. I love to pack my diary full. And I'm someone that's definitely, looking back, always glorified my work ethic. Like, that to me is like one of my biggest strengths. So I've always piled on the work. Now, I've had a super successful online coaching business helping women across the world for the last, I moved online maybe 6 years ago. Last 3 years, I also added a second job, basically, where I was helping other online coaches and teaching them, educating them, and helping them build their business. And I loved this job. I love both jobs. Both these jobs, incredible jobs. And I don't think one thing or the other completely burnt me out. I think it was a mixture of overdoing it. I was serving in my own business about 80 clients myself. I had a coach with other coaches, other clients. So we're in the business of around 120 clients in total. And obviously, all the payment issues, all the invoicing, all the little bits obviously come down to me for that. So roughly 120 people to 100 people serving for quite a while. The way my business is set up, I don't have a day off, which is my choice. It's my business. But that obviously probably didn't help. And then with the second job I had, which again, loved doing, loved the company, amazing job. But I was looking after around 50, 60 students. So I basically had around 100, quick math, 160, 170, that's not even good math, is it? Around, let's say 150 to 170 people that needed me pretty much daily with no real break for a long time, basically. And, I'd have people having a lot of business inquiries or business help, and that's quite draining when other people, some of my business clients weren't doing well. Obviously it's a lot. And again, some days you'd have weeks where half of your clients seem like we're having a bad week, whether it's the weather or the mood, I don't know. And I am so grateful to genuinely love what I do. It often doesn't feel like work, but I think because of that, I let it seep into everything. Again, I don't obviously have a day off. And I ended up working 14, 15 hour days just to make everything fit in. And I think because I'm someone that can do that, I just sort of did, because I was like, oh, I can do it. But it was completely at the detriment to myself. And don't get me wrong, during this time I have achieved things. I've done powerlifting, I've achieved bodybuilding shows, I have done things. But I think that, to be fair, also paired with a relationship. So when I kind of built both these businesses, or the original business, my second kind of job, I didn't really have anyone. So it was just me, and I could be selfish with my time. But bringing in now a husband and a dog who's walking around somewhere, and then stepchildren as well, suddenly I just was never having a moment to myself. I was never being able to fill my cup. I think because my job and then my hobby, which is the gym, are very tied together, it also made me really fall out of love with the gym, because the gym didn't feel like my hobby anymore. It felt like work. And I think it was such a combination of those things. And I see it in my clients all the time. Most of my clients are mums, most are incredibly burnt out, most of them are very tired. And it's generally because from the moment they wake up to the moment they go to sleep, they have someone or several people or lots of people depending on them. A lot of them have jobs that are quite draining as well. And they just don't get any chance to fill their cup. And that's where I was. I was not prioritizing myself. I was definitely not prioritizing my well-being, and just little things I would back-to-back calls, because again, I could do it for hours, to the point where I wouldn't have any food, or I'd quickly throw something together or have a protein bar rather than something nutritious. My nutrition dropped, even though I'm a health and fitness coach. I spend all day telling people about nutrition. That for me was just not a priority. And I always let things, I care a lot, probably too much. And I think sometimes a lot of things like will play on my mind. I don't really ever switch off. Like there was no gap. Like my whole identity was work. Like that was Liv coach. That's all Liv is. And so I never had anything else like at all. And over the years I've sacrificed so many social occasions. Like it's definitely caused issues where I've been, trying to spend time with family or trying to do things. And like my only focus is how can I still do my check-ins, or how can I reply to my clients, or when can I reply to my clients? The longest time off I've had in 8 years is 1 week for my wedding. And even on my wedding day, I had people emailing me, which was really annoying because I wasn't checking WhatsApp, but I had to check my emails to get my marriage license. Like cancelling on my wedding day. And it's like, I just wanted a week off. And I, again, am not here to moan at all. But I think a combination of those two things, so the way I'd kind of set my life up, and then also a very harsh diet for a photo shoot, which 100%, looking back, I shouldn't have gone into. I should have done a bulk. My body needed a break. There were signs of that as well. Like I basically was ill from Christmas to about June, July, when I realised that I was just broken. Had glandular fever twice, thought I had shingles, but that was never confirmed. My husband actually did have shingles, weirdly, and just couldn't, I kept getting ill. I've obviously still actually got a bad throat that is still recovering. I've got another hospital appointment soon for that because it's still a bit ongoing, but I think, to be honest, it's just, my body is still recovering. But I had to pull out of the half marathon I was going to do, and I had to slow down. I had to go with the second job and focus on my business again. And that's my burnout story. I literally have never experienced anything like it. As someone that is, I wouldn't say I'm necessarily a motivated person, but I'm a very disciplined person. Like I will get up and work no matter how I feel. I'll show up for other people no matter how I feel. But the exhaustion and the mental fatigue, I was diagnosed at 14 with depression, and it reminded me of that. Like I'm very lucky that like I'm still a happy, healthy person. I don't have depression anymore. Like I don't really have anxiety anymore. Like I'm a very healthy human and I feel great most of the time. But the burnout honestly felt crippling. It felt like I was depressed again. Getting out of bed was a struggle. All I wanted to do was sleep. And all I wanted to do was chase dopamine. Like all I wanted to do was like watch TikTok. Like if you gave me an hour off, I would have lied there and watched TikTok. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't have the brain capacity to do anything else. And I definitely wasn't being the best coach I could because I was so exhausted and physically also ill. I was like, obviously a glandular fever, I was ill. And I was just burnt out. So enough moaning on about burnout. What I've realised and taken away from all of this, and even though it's something I say to my clients every single day, it's something that I obviously haven't practiced or preached myself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to be selfish sometimes to be selfless. And I think like boundaries are really important. Having something, even if it's 5 minutes in your day that is just for you, is so important. And these days, like I do really limit what I can do. I'm still a bit limited by my voice. I can't talk forever as well, which I guess in some ways has helped because I have to be realistic. Like I can't do loads of calls. I've had to adjust how I do things. I have like quite strict boundaries, like cut off in the evening now. I try not to answer or look at my phone for the first few hours of the day. All those things have done me wonders. I've got into yoga nidra, so it's like a relaxing kind of yoga. I do a lot more like breathwork stuff, which has been amazing. I get all my to-do list out and I prioritize it. I haven't got it here, but the productivity method from Grace Beverly, that's amazing. And I basically prioritize like small tasks, big tasks, blah, blah, blah. I don't overfill my days and I'm really strict with that. Like I need empty hours in my day every day to actually be able to reply to my clients and actually have time to like make a post for Instagram and also have time to sit and look after my dog for 5 minutes and actually like give them some attention. But that flexibility is really important to me. It's something I'm still learning on. I'm definitely not perfect. There are still some days where I messed up. There are still some days where I don't give myself time for dinner. And there's still some days where I feel like I'm chasing my tail and I'm just looking after everyone else. But if this year has taught me anything, it's that I cannot pour from an empty cup. I am also human. I'm not a robot. And actually, sometimes I've been very selfish because all I've done is prioritize everyone else. And actually that hasn't made me selfless. It has made me selfish because I've then burnt and crashed. And I can't serve people when I've burnt and crashed. So for anyone experiencing burnout currently, anyone who has burnout, has had burnout, like you're not alone. It is actually so debilitating. And I feel like it's taken me so long to feel like myself again. And there's still like repercussions. Like again, my voice is still really broken. I still know like I can't push myself the way I used to. Obviously I've had to pull back and like leave certain jobs that I love doing. Like it's been really brutal this year. And it's something that I found hard to share on social media because I want my page to be like really positive and I want to document all the cool things I do. And I've still achieved a lot this year. I've still achieved an awful lot of things this year, but it has been a really tough year. And I think it's good to share these things because from the outside, I didn't talk about how ill I was a lot of the time. I didn't talk about how burnt out I was a lot of the time. I didn't want my clients to think they couldn't, like, I wasn't there for them at all. So I sort of hid it all a lot, and I don't think that's been helpful either. So this is a sign: if you're experiencing burnout, don't be afraid to tell people, don't be afraid to talk to people. You are human. I think if you're in a normal job, take time off. If you're kind of running a business like me, that's not always an option. But do safeguard your time. Like, we all need time in our day, even if it is that 5 minutes just for you. And some things, like some of the most stupid things have been so therapeutic to me. Like actually just going somewhere in my car and just listening to a podcast has been so therapeutic, because that's the kind of thing I wouldn't have done before. Like, I'd made sure that I either didn't have a drive or I took the train so I could work. Like, I used to fill every single second productively. And don't get me wrong, I run a big business. Like, I still have to do that a lot of the time, but it is also okay. Like, I've got back into reading for the first time in probably 8 or 9 years. I'm definitely going to start talking about having days off, like maybe a Saturday off, or at least reduced hours. Like, I think protecting me has been the best thing that's come out of all of this, and it's been horrible. I've had to get to the point where I've literally not been able to cope and have wondered if I can continue this life. Not in a bad way, as in can I show up and can I do my businesses? Can I do it all? But I've really had to have that think this year. And now I've got fitness goals again for me. I'm not going to be dieting or doing anything harsh like that, but planned at least for the foreseeable. I'm not going to do any photo shoots or anything like that. I think it was too much for my body at the time. I think I didn't help with everything. So I have been focusing rather on fueling myself, on resting, on recovering, on doing all of the things I talk about every single day. And yeah, I guess the point of this video is that if you're not alone, if you struggle with burnout, or feel like you might be burnt out, if it's something you really feel like you're struggling with, reach out to me. We can talk through it. I can give you some ideas of what I've done to kind of help. But those are kind of the big things, is taking back time for yourself, building in time into your day. And again, I've not had the chance to just not work for a few weeks, but I do think if you had that chance, that's probably what you need, if not longer. It's had a physical toll on me. My bloods, like I said, were really broken and stuff. It's definitely had a big mental toll on me, and it's been hard, with relationships and stuff. And yeah, I think burnout is something that isn't spoken about enough. It's almost seen as people just being a bit pathetic, and that's definitely not the case. And I think I've realised that so much. Like I said, it's been debilitating at times. So this is a sign of hope to anyone that is in burnout. It will get better. You are okay. Things will hopefully improve for the better long term as well, as long as you make the active changes that you need to do that. And like I said, my DMs are open. Reach out to me if it's something you're struggling with, and I can give you some more tips and tricks specific to you. But yeah, here is to making the rest of 2025 much better than the first 9 months in terms of my health, my mental health, my well-being, and actually putting myself on that goddamn list as well.